The half pipe comes as two different sheets of paper. You will need both of them, the half pipe floor and the two walls. We're going to start with the floor. First step, as usual, is to trace along the thick dotted lines to score the paper. Notice the dotted lines along this end are not, it's not one continuous long dotted line. It's actually three separate dotted lines. Trace that and turn it this way, get that last piece in there. Next I'm going to just cut these little slots right here on both ends. I'm just going to crease this upward, make valley folds along here. It's a little easier than doing it later. Unfold it, and I'm going to cut out all the rest of these solid black lines. This little piece gets cut out entirely. Next up, we're going to crease a couple more places along this end. Everything gets valley folds on this piece. It gets folded up there. This end, this piece gets folded in this direction. This piece gets folded up. This gets folded up. Alright, next we're going to tape these corners together. And it really doesn't matter if this little tab is on the inside or the outside. I'll put it on the outside. Just like that. This piece right here, if you put it on the outside, make sure that it ends up lined up with the bottom edge of here. So I'm going to do it, it's going to be a little easier if I just put it on the inside right here. And again, make sure that it's pushed against the floor. Just like that. Do the same thing at the other end here. I'm going to put this tab so it's right up against the floor. Just like that, and put tape on like that. Alright, so that is all we can do with this piece for now. On the piece labeled half pipe wall, first thing I'm going to do is trace along the thick dotted lines right here and here. Do not trace along here. These lines are just for guiding when we're taping. So you don't need to trace along these. So it's just two lines that you're going to trace. Make sure you cut out along the thick solid lines. These pieces can get discarded. And I also need to cut out this solid along these solid lines right here. Now the exit is an optional piece. We'll save this for now. I'll show you what to do. I'm going to now fold along these dotted lines. I'm going to make two valley folds. Here and here. Alright, I need to attach the floor to the walls. And this piece right here where it has the gap with the missing piece, that is going to line up right here, along here. And all these quadrilaterals, all these four-sided shapes should fit along and line up with the outlines on the walls. So you can just do one piece at a time. So I'm going to line that up right there, like that. I'm going to tape that down. You might find it easier to do one at the end. The tape goes over the edge here. I'm just going to fold it around like that. Line this one up over here. Line that up. So I'm going to tape that piece right there. Tape come over the end, so I'm going to tape it like that. And then it will actually, it'll almost stand by itself. In that case, it is standing right now. And you go ahead and line up all the other ones in any order you want. I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to tape it to this other wall here. This one is not as tightly turned. Notice it's more of a gentle curve, much wider curve. Start at one end, tape it on the other side. I'm going to line up the one at the far end, and then line up all the other ones and tape those down as well. Alright, these creases right here, you need to fold these outward. Make it easier to tape it down to the board or wherever you're going to attach it. You also need to put some tape along the inside here so it will be a bit stronger. So I'm going to put a piece, I'm going to stand it up like this, and I'm going to put a piece of tape on the back here. Do a couple of those at least on each end. Alright, the marble comes in this end. It should take a long time for it to exit. This piece labeled exit, if you want to put that on there, just line it up with the top of this, and that will make this piece a little sturdier. So if you want to attach that, you just put this along the top right here. These thin edges here can either bend inward or outward, depending on how you're placing it. If you bend them outward like this, you might find it easier to attach to the base of your roller coaster. But if you need the extra space, if it's between two columns and you need to bend these inward, that'll also work. The easiest place to use a half pipe is at the end or at the base of your roller coaster, and it makes it easy to attach it to the base, and it gives it a nice stable support. You may need to cut into one side of your half pipe in the corner here to have a track so that it doesn't drop down too much. This is actually not ideal. It should go straight from a track onto here, so you may need to cut a slot in that wall back here so that the marble will be able to roll right in here slowly. And the slower it can enter here, usually the better it will work. Because you want it to roll back and forth quite a few times before it comes out. You don't want it to bang into the far wall.